Welcome back to another episode of Tectonic Takes. It is your host, as always, Abram, and I am joined with Devon. Devon, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Doing great. It's a nice Sunday. At the time of recording, Olympics just ended. USA gets all the attention. I guess we completed the Olympics with the most medals, and most of all, most gold medals. So I want to give a shout out Team USA, Stephen Curry, for coming home with the gold with that amazing, not even a buzzer beater, but just a 2v1 play, and he just manages to loop it way over the teams and sinks right into the basket. Uh,
It was it was almost like it didn't matter what he did. He could have thrown it backwards; it still would have gone in. Like he's just that magical.
yeah, he's just
It's
that
crazy.
clutch, dude. It's that clutch. It's like four straight threes in a row or something like that, from what I heard.
Yeah.
Such an amazing guy to
No.
play.
Yeah. Something like he got eight in total, I believe, maybe nine. Uh, I was watching it. I don't watch other sports, but I was like, this is a huge game. I've loved seeing the highlights of the Team USA basketball team because they're just all the best players are on the same team.
Yeah,
And so it's just so fun to watch. And they're just like so comfortable with each other. And just to see them, be able to trust their teammates so much. I really wish Hernan and Espinosa had that for the Earthquakes, just like other good players. Um,
just like MLS Argentina versus the rest of the league.
yeah, yeah. I'll just put all the Argentinians in the
Yeah,
Earthquakes.
I think that'd be fire.
Um, But speaking of the earthquakes, we are going to cover today the LA Galaxy game at PayPal Park, as well as the Necaxa game at PayPal Park. I don't think I went to either of these. Actually, no, I went to the Galaxy one. I did go to the Galaxy one. Um, it was a disappointing affair, definitely. What was your overall thoughts of the match before we delve into the specifics?
I think, well, for Galaxy, we actually played a fairly decent game. You know, we had great tactics. We did concede a lot of opportunities and shots against us, but that also signifies a strength to our team that none of those went in, and the opportunities they had weren't that great. If I'm allowed to say that, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
you know, Galaxy had to take some shots from a bit of distance to test Yarbrough, and we were pretty tight on, especially in defense where we've been lacking for the whole season, and all of a sudden we only concede one goal via the Galaxy up until the 89th minute, I believe.
Something
So
like that.
that shows a lot of significant improvement since the Cali Clasico where we conceded three. Um, and then obviously Necaxa conceded nothing and scored an absolute, you know, uh, I want to say like almost a dozen, yeah, or a half dozen.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I know that you're someone who doesn't really enjoy XG as a stat, but you're right. We kept Galaxy to a pretty low XG game for the most part. It was when we bunkered down to try and get that tie that we needed to advance that we conceded the goal. And that was we were just looking at it on my TV back there. It was a crazy team goal that was really hard to defend. I think the only player you could say could have done better was Benji because he had been moved to left wing at that point, um, and Palmery was right back, and he was covering the wide man. I don't remember his name, but he's a Japanese right back for Galaxy. He started making a run to the back post. Puig found him and picked him out right in his path, and then he played a cross goal, and then there was an LA Galaxy player there to finish that goal. So all in all, I feel like that's a difficult goal to swallow, but also I don't think that you know it was necessarily an easy goal that we let them have. I feel like they deserved that goal. To be honest, it was a really well worked play. What do you think, Devin?
As much as it hurts to say, considering it came from Galaxy, I agree with you 100%. Where just that play was just terrific. You can't really blame the defense on any of that. made a really well-timed run behind Benji. Like you said, passed it across the box for that one-time finish. Um, Nothing the defense can do just because they got purely outpaced, and the guy running from inside the box to slot it home. Uh, it was basically a mirrored play versus what the Galaxy did versus Chivas. Um, so it seems like they've been working on this play for a while, and they executed it to perfection against us. And not really much to say to that besides well played.
Yeah, and the goal that they had scored earlier in the match, the Fagundes banger, that was a very low XG shot. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I I could see it. I could see it. And I would say that usually when someone shoots from there, they don't end up scoring. But it was a slight misread from Benji again. We don't want to blame Benji for all the goals, but he's not a natural defender. And so that culminates in little lapses of judgment in small moments where maybe someone who's more naturally suited to that position would have done better. I don't think that they would have stopped that goal. But what happened was Fagundes was carrying it on their left hand side toward Benji. Benji was covering that run pretty well, but then their left back didn't overlap, and Espinosa was originally covering that, but then he switched with Benji. So Benji went to cover the overlap, and then Espinosa was to cover Fagundes. Espinosa didn't do a good job of covering Fagundes. He just Fagundes just cut inside past Espinosa. Espinosa kind of just oh shoot, dang it, he got by me. And then Guezo, he probably has the last chance to do something about this shot, but he hesitates a little bit when Fagundes is in a bunch of space, and he's one of the players in this league that has a quality to find the upper top corner from that spot. And there's not much Yarborough could do. I'm sure that there's a lot of you who will blame Yarborough for that, but personally, I don't see how you can get to that spot. It was who is it? Alessandro Del Piero. He would specifically choose to play for that kind of shot in that area because it was so difficult for the keepers to stop. It's above you, and then by the time it's down, it's way past you. And the only way you can stop it is if you're standing in that corner, just waiting for the ball to come. And keepers should never be doing that. That's just not part of the job. If you're a keeper, they train you to be waiting for the pass into the box. That's that's the most likely play to happen. So if you're a keeper and you're standing in the corner waiting for that shot, you're a bad keeper. So definitely don't blame Yarborough there. I think that would have gone in on Daniel, gone in on Iker Casillas, Manuel Neuer. You can't stop this. But yeah, what are your thoughts about that goal? I kind of went on a tangent about that.
You're good. You're good. It's similar thoughts as yours. It's also the same thing as the first Galaxy goal. You just chalk it up to a really really talented, well played, thought out goal. Um, Espinoza maybe could have done something else to defend a little bit better, but he is a winger after all. Sometimes part of me wants to say that he shouldn't have to be that sitting that deep. But if you also look at the run kind of in behind, and we'll actually get into runs in a little bit when we talk about Necaxa, that player who made the run on the outside to stop Benji from chasing Fagundes actually had a huge influence on why Fagundes was able to take that shot freely without any defensive coverage. So just a well chalked up goal, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, they don't plan to score those. He saw an opportunity and he took it. And usually you're not going to score it, but they got lucky and they ended up scoring at that time. That's kind of a trend this season where we will concede goals that have very low XG value, just because they were bangers and they ended up going in against us. That's just kind of a curse. And I think I blame Devon for it. I blame Devon's curse, but it's all right. We're working with it. We just tell him we put tape over his mouth while watching the game.
Just taping my phone up so I can't type anything.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to point out that we do know that the goals happen in the opposite order where we explain them. Um, the Fagundes banger came first, and then the other one came after. Uh, Devin, can you sum up the Abobasi goal that happened in between the two Galaxy goals?
Yeah, so I believe Jackson Yule intercepted a pass or made a good tackle. He passed it out to Grezzo, and Grezzo saw space in front of Jibo, and Jibo was wide open right on top of the box. Took a touch to his left, and then fired a shot with no incoming pressure via Galaxy defense, and slotted it near post. Um, so it was a well transitioned goal. Great effort by Jackson Yule to even get rid of the or get the ball back in that high up of the field.
Mhm.
Better awareness by Grezzo to be open, and then see Jeremy Abobasi in that space and play it as quick as possible before you know uh, before any pressure could you know approach him, or the Galaxy could find their feet defensively. Because in my opinion, there's been a lot of games where we have the opportunities to counter, and like we don't counter at all, and we'll wait for the other team to like settle down and get ready. But we took active measures to make sure that we do counter, and then Jeremy Bobasi has no one around him, and I think we need to do more of that. But it's so weird that like our two of the three worst players in general Earthquakes fan consensus were involved with that play and have been doing so good for us in Leagues Cup. I just don't understand why or how they've just gotten so much better in the little time.
Well, for Grezzo, we know it's the Messi Musk. He got Messi's shirt during the Copa America, and it has transformed him as a player. He probably uses it as a pillowcase, um, and that's been getting the most performance out of him. You and Jack Jabo, I feel like I said you and Jackson, you and Jabo, they I feel are very confidence based players where if they feel good, they'll play good, and there's not been much for them to feel good about lately. I don't know if you disagree or agree on that, but I think that they've turned it around for League Cup where it was kind of like a fresh slate. We have this is the only thing we have to play for, like we talked about last episode, and I think they showed up. I've been really happy with how they played, especially Abobasi. And he's always been a kind of player where he'll get a hot streak, and then then he'll start scoring a lot. And 4 goals in the last 3 games really shows that. So super happy for those two, for those three. Hopefully now Beeson can start stepping up. He hasn't done bad. I don't think it's not nothing has been his fault, but I want to see Carlos Puyol type performances from him, where he like literally puts the team on his back and maybe plays to the level of Rodriguez. I don't expect that, but that would be the redemption arc I'd like to see from Beeson.
It's
So
good hope. It's good hope. And you know what? He got subbed
yeah,
in second half versus Necaxa, and I even said in the Discord group, I was like, "Well, here we go. Our clean sheet's about to end," and then it didn't. He
yeah,
finished off the clean sheet. So Beeson's also improving in
yeah.
some form or another.
You made the prediction that our clean sheet would go away, and then it didn't. So it worked for us. Keep doing that.
The curse works both
Um,
ways.
it does. It does. But yeah, speaking of the Necaxa game, Devin, what were your overall thoughts of that game? I didn't get to go. I planned a vacation, and then Galaxy beat Chivas while I was planning the vacation. I was like, I don't want to change everything around right
Yeah,
now because I didn't expect them to play on a Thursday. I didn't know that was going to happen, so
I didn't expect
I
us.
just didn't plan
I didn't
accordingly.
expect us to move on at all. Period. So
Yeah,
it's totally right for you to start planning trips when you don't think the Earthquakes will be playing again until late August.
right.
So an analysis of the Necaxa game, like there's like almost nothing negative at all that happened for the Earthquakes. There's zero criticisms. Everyone played to the best of their ability. We even talked about this before the game. Benji Kikanovic as a right wing back was absolutely crucial. I believe it was discussed that Necaxa was like a mid-table team over the season so far. There were expectations that Necaxa would come over here and give us a tight knit game, if not win, versus us, considering we're dead last in the league. But no, we were up 4-0 at half. Who would have
Yeah.
who would have guessed that? Not even Nestor would have made a bet on that. Like it's unheard of for us to go 4-0 up at halftime and have Jibo with a brace before 45 minutes are up. Like that was the best possible thing that the Quakes would have wished for.
Right. The first goal of the five came from Jackson Newell, I believe, like fourth minute or something like that. Very quickly, it was a throw in that came to Newell. Newell first time to what's his name, Espinosa. Espinosa 1-2 with Newell, and then he cuts inside onto his left foot, and we're like, is he gonna do it? Like, that's a weird place to shoot from. But that's what Jackson do, and he made a low driven left footed shot around the defender, and the keeper just wasn't ready for that, and we weren't ready for it, and it found the bottom left corner. Very well worked goal. I thought that was a beautiful play between Jackson and Espinosa there. Um, I was just shocked when that goal went in. Like you, I expected it to be a more contested match. Because Necaxa aren't the best team in Mexico, but like we are the worst team in America. So it doesn't, really. It doesn't matter how average they are. We're so far below average. But no, I think that the quality that the team does have has been really showing, and we've been like using all the value of the players and squeezing every bit of quality that we have out of everyone during this League Cup campaign, and I'm for it. So that's big up to Mr. Russell for doing that because it's not easy. When you expect to lose, you probably will keep losing. But we've been on a run, so I'm super happy about that.
I think we can talk about the Hernan Lopez goal. I know he was
Yeah,
involved with an assist as well with Jeremy Abosi, had that little flick, and Jibo had the first time shot far post. But specifically Hernan's goal, there's been a little bit of debate on how effective Pele's run is. I just want your thoughts on the whole play and um, give us a little analysis.
yeah, yeah. I mean, uh, it's hard because there's contrasting opinions, right? I think that Pele has not been the player that we wanted him to be. A few minutes before that play that they mentioned, he had a really good run. He's faster than most of the Mexican players, so he's making a good run on the left, and he gets the ball from Hernan and shoots right at the keeper. It's a dud shot, and it's like, what are you doing, man? But later, like you mentioned on that goal that did eventually go in, he got the ball and he laid it off to Hernan. Hernan just starts marauding forward, and Pele kind of sees the opportunity where there's a gap in between the defense, and he just puts his head down and just sprints into that gap, forcing both of the defenders to follow him. Um, and that leaves the space up on our left. The player that would be covering, that 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 right, their right back went to the center because Pele was running toward the center, and so Hernan forced the ball left and then had an angle to take that shot. And to be fair, you can't give all the credit to Pele when the shot is of that caliber. You don't really expect anyone to score from there, but Hernan has a lot of power in those little legs, um, and he almost ripped the net, man. It was a crazy shot. Um, but I do think that he would have struggled to have the opportunity if Pele hadn't made that run to draw the defenders out of the way, basically. Because if the defender in the way, you don't shoot that, and then you don't score that goal. But so I don't think that Pele is like equally as responsible for the goal as Hernan was, even though he did get the assist. It was more like Pele did his job, he did the right thing, and allowed the goal to be possible. Which is huge. That's what we need from him. And he also got an assist later in the game as well. So he's doing good things. This is probably the best game we've seen from him. And he hasn't scored a goal in a while, so we're hoping that will change. But as long as he's getting assists and we keep scoring, then I don't really care what he does.
Agreed. Agreed. There was talk that Pele, Pele is not as effective as we want him to be. But I think, looking at the argument that Ian's brought the best out of all the players that we've gotten so far, um, in terms of the comparison between when they played for Lucci versus now, Ian's current tactics, they are the best that we expected them to be. We knew that this team had the talent, they have the ability, they have the skill to put up a ton of goals and a ton of numbers per game. And now I think Ian's found that cheat code. He's entered it into his system, and here we are watching the Quakes thrive, versus one of the better teams per league. We almost drew versus Galaxy, we beat Chivas, we drew versus Chivas, and now we kicked Necaxa's butt, and they're getting sent home. I believe today, or already got sent home yesterday. But yeah, no, this is cool. This is cool to finally not be on the bitter end of losing games. Um,
Yeah.
but Jeremy Abobasi specifically, I want to talk about Jeremy Abobasi because he's been a talking point, a prominent talking point for the San Jose Earthquakes attack anyway. He's found his form: 3 goals in 2 games, 4 goals in 3 games. All every single game he's played in Leagues Cup, he scored. He's greatly improving. He's finally staying up towards the top of the box, right against the back defenders, the last line of defense. He's doing those things that we kind of said he should do, and now he's thriving because of that. Do you have any extra thoughts on Jeremy Abobasi's performances?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few. I think that one, if you look at most of the goals that happened in the Necaxa game, the ones he scored, they came from the left. Usually, it's a trait of ours to force it down the right because Espinosa is going to get it. He's going to do something. But we scored a lot from transition on the left side of the field, and that really benefits Abobasi when the ball's coming to him from the left, because that allows him to shoot first time, and that's his obviously favorite foot. And we can't say that's been the reason he hasn't scored many this year, because he's had opportunities and he's missed those. But like I said, he's confident right now, and he's scoring because of that. I think that you touched on the fact that he's playing higher up. That's really important too, because if you look at like a lot of the goals, they're coming in transition. The goal against Galaxy, we won the ball back and then immediately pushed forward. He was already, on the last defender. Basically, he's not like on him, but he's like in terms of the offside line, he's onside, but he's as far forward as he can be, and that allows him to be in an area to make his chance, the most valuable it could be, rather than getting the ball back at the false nine, looking forward, and then he's kind of so far from goal, he doesn't get those chances. So if he's in the box, he's getting the balls. He's a great finisher. We know that, but you can't finish if your opportunities are from 30 yards, 25 yards. It's kind of useless.
Yeah,
So
he's also making the right runs as well. The
yeah,
last several times and last several games that we've seen him prior to his now current form, he's always received the ball with his back faced towards goal. He's never actually been in a good position where he's able to take a first time shot, where he's able to look towards goal. But now that he's making these runs to give himself the freedom and availability to take these shots, he's found an effective way to use himself.
yeah. I don't know if that's because of Russell and like the instructions given him, or if Abobasi is like, okay, I finally feel like I can trust my teammates to do the build up, because I've talked to Jabo a few times. We've all seen his press conferences. Well, if you haven't, go do that. He's probably one of the best speakers on the team. I think Yarbrough and JT give him a run for his money in that. But He's a very good speaker. Um, he I think feels that he is going to be the one to have the onus to make anything good happen. He feels the responsibility as a striker. He wants to be the starting striker, even if he's doing poorly, because he feels like it's up to him. I think that's just in the psychology of Jeremy Abovsi. I think that he thinks that he's the main character. He has to do all the hard work, to make anything happen. Like if you want something done, do it yourself. I think that's what he thinks, and so that's going to culminate in a lot of him coming deep to make things happen, like literally physically coming and making it happen. But that's not what we need. We need somebody to finish the chances, because what we can't do this season, or what we struggle to do this season, is put the ball into the back of the net. And when he's in the box, he can do that. Simple as that. He's a very good finisher. And in Mexico, he would be considered like a big striker. They're just the size is a lot smaller there, and that's why you see people like Solomon Rondon, Pierre Andre Gignac. They really thrive in Mexico because their size, and also just like general class and quality. So, if we were going to sell him, which we've still talked about selling him, I don't know if he's done enough to keep him yet. Even though we're high on Jeremy because he scored the goals and he's basically a big reason why we're here in the first place. Uh, I don't think it's enough because I'm I just don't think that having a striker who only scores in the last quarter of the season is gonna do it for us. You know what I mean?
Something more consistent. Yeah, even if he misses like 2 or 3 games of not scoring, but then he gets another goal. That's one thing. But going 10 plus games of not scoring, I think is a little issue for us Quakes as an organization, because we can't get out of last place if we're not scoring goals, and we need that nine to do that. And if our nine isn't doing that, then no one else will be able to step up the way the man that's closest to goal can do. We shouldn't have to rely heavily on Christian Espinosa or Pellegrino to get those goals. We should have our main striker, take care of that, so Espinosa can keep getting the assists that he's been able to do. Um, so in that aspect, totally agreed. We can totally offload Jibo if the chance comes up. Obviously, that's easy to say than do, because we aren't in the understanding that anyone's reached out to Jibo for a transfer or anything. I just want to clarify that there's no news, no transfer news. The only thing we've
Yeah.
heard is Carlos Grezzo potentially, but that's been a while. I don't think it's happening. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
anyways, we need that nine to do the job, and we need more consistency than a 10 to 15 game no point streak.
Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous. And I think that it's easy to forget the fact that Jabo has 4 goals in MLS, because he scored 4 goals in the last 3 games. He's had that over the course of the whole season so far. We've played a lot of games, and that's not good enough. I think that Devin, you need to buy a new car. If your car for most of the year was in the shop, but then like the 2 weeks you have your car in December, you're going fast, like you're ripping through traffic and everything. That's awesome. But what about the rest of the year?
Or if your
You
car
need,
breaks down again, yeah, like 3 weeks
yeah,
after.
you don't know when it's going to break down again, right? We don't know when he's going to go on another dry streak. So it's not, I think, smart to keep Abovasi. I think that it would be smart to move him on or get a deal for him while he's in good form. But you know, his contract is coming up, and that's kind of worrying because we might not get money for him. He might still leave, and then we'll be without a striker who, even an inconsistent striker, is better than no striker. Um, and Judd is he's next up, but he is kind of allergic to scoring right now. He's very good. I like Judd a lot, but he every time he gets near the goal, he does something. and it doesn't end up going in. Um, but yeah, so it's a weird position that we found ourselves in, where we have a hot striker, and we want to move them on, but his deal's coming up, and we don't spend money. If you're the GM, I'm pulling my hair out. If I'm Chris Leach, I'm pulling my hair out because you're not gonna get money to spend on another striker. You might have to let this one walk for free, and everyone's going to be mad at you because even though he didn't score for a long period of his last season, he was scoring at the end of it, and the recency bias is going to make everyone remember that. So then that puts you in the hot seat. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I don't want to be I don't want that GM job at the San Jose Earthquakes right now. That's for sure. Um, do you have any more thoughts on that?
I mean, it's a tough business for this sport in general because, you want to offload a player, you want to sell a player, get some money, but at the same time, you're also mid-season. So in order to sell someone, you actually have to have someone lined up to come in, so you have to technically make two deals to have one deal go through, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, thinking about that, it's pretty difficult. Yes, we do have Judd as a substitute. We also have Kikanovic, who could also play the nine. I guess we have Pellegrino, who could also play the
But
nine.
then who will play right back?
Exactly. A capo, just
Yeah.
click your feet together 3 times. Click your heels together. Make something happen.
Okay.
Um,
That's a really I didn't expect that reference, but we're running with it.
but anyways, yeah, it's tough to have these transfer targets, or these transfer moments, because not everything can go perfectly, you know um so I don't know, I'm in limbo. I feel like it's okay to have Jibo at this stage because now he's kicking back in form. Whatever Ian's done has helped all of our players that we criticize week in week out. They've now turned into like among our golden boys. And like, okay, I want to say this too before I forget. Even Nico Sakaris had so many or like had like what, 3 chances versus Necaxa. It wasn't
I would
it
say,
wasn't fortunate to put him in the back of the net because the goalkeeper actually made really good saves, and I will give the goalkeeper credit for that. It's not all,
yeah,
I'm not going to blame Nico completely. He did just get player of the tournament for the U20 Concacaf Championship. Unfortunately, he finished second. Emi Ochoa came away with the trophy, but Nico is one of those guys to look out for, and he's also on the rise, and he's also one of those players where he's getting these accolades that brings his transfer price up. And if a team from Europe comes knocking, we better open that door.
yeah, no, I agree. We talked about this at large on the podcast, where if we can be moving players to Europe, if we can be helping players achieve their goal, that's what we want to be. That's going to be beneficial for us because, parents pay attention, and if they have a kid who's very talented, then and they see a good pathway for their child's career, then they're gonna choose us. If they're in the area, we've seen players like Fidel Barajas, Diego Luna, Drake Callender to an extent. You know, I wouldn't really say like he's had a crazy career, but like uh, those are players that we had to move out of here because there wasn't really a pathway for them. We didn't value them as much as we probably should have. Um, uh, but that being said, Cade Cowell went to Chivas on a big deal, and that, for a lot of people, that's like the dream in life to play for Chivas. And I think that he talked about wanting to go to Europe, and we didn't make that happen for him. But it's not always that easy. But Nico is a player who has to have eyes on him right now. That I don't see a scenario where nobody's looking at Nico because uh, the G20, what was it, Copa America, something like that.
The CONCACAF U20 Championship. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. People watch that. They have to. If you're a scout and you're not watching these tournaments, then you're not doing your job as a scout. So I'm sure that there's people who saw that number 10 scoring those goals for the U.S. in the final, not scoring in the final, but like scoring and getting to the final.
Mm-hmm.
He just and he has aura. You have to say about Nico.
He's got
It's
that. He's
just
got
like
that
even
flow, bro. He's got the flow.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he's not scoring. He looks cool doing it. He looks cool not scoring. Um, but yeah, like you said on the Nico, he had two chances back to back in front of the goal. He didn't score either. But I think you're right that the keeper, made a very good save on the first chance, especially where Nico gets the ball. When he's receiving it, he fakes toward it so that the defender will commit and then lets it run, so he's past that guy without even touching the ball. And then he gets the ball, and then the defender coming from his left, he cuts in. Oh my God, he's such a saucy player. And then he's gonna shoot to the keeper's left, like cut inside on his left, and the keeper puts his foot out at the right moment and stops it. And then he gets the ball back again, I believe, and then tries to shoot with his right. Uh, and that kind of makes a deflection. He should have passed to Pele there. Pele is like open, no one around him, just literally in the box waiting for the ball. But honestly, I don't think he saw him. He turned to shoot with his right foot. Pele is literally behind him.
Even as
So
a
I
fan, I
don't
didn't even
blame
see him.
Nico there. I watched the highlights, um, and I was like, Pele is literally wide open. He should score. He with how he's been playing, he would also miss, but no, that's the only semi criticism I would have, is that to have that awareness to know where your teammates are even when you can't see them. Um, that's really hard to do. Not everyone can do that. So I don't think Nico had a bad game. I think that he played pretty well, and he didn't have that much time either. He was also playing at the 10, which is not where we. I don't say it's not where we have seen him before. We've seen him at the 10 before, but it's been a few months since then. You know what I mean? He's been an 8 for us pretty consistently this season. So, but yeah, I'm super happy to have him back. I know a lot of players, a lot of fans, sorry, would have wanted to see him start over Yule, which I don't hate. I think that he's a very strong player that helps a lot in the build up, but Yule's on form as well, so there's a lot of competition right now, and that's frustrating for Nico, but a good thing for us overall as fans to see our team doing well and keep this run up in League's Cup. But I'm curious, before we end the episode, I want to know, wait, how what's your philosophy about this tournament right now? Because I know that you don't like the tournament as a whole, but I personally, I feel that every game that we have is like a gift, that we're like, we don't expect to be moving on in the tournament, but every game is like, okay, cool, awesome. We've already passed the point of like negative. Like, I don't think that if we go out against LA, that I'll be like, dang, we should have gone way further in this tournament. Like, okay, we got to the quarterfinals or whatever. Like, that's pretty cool. What do you think?
I think we've already hit our success point. You know,
Yeah.
we've and I'd consider us lucky because we've gotten the benefit of the doubt from other results. Like, for example, when Seattle lost by 2 goals, that helped us get a knockout round home field advantage game. If we hadn't had that, I don't think we would have considered us as successful of a tournament as playing a home game in front of the crowd and for a knockout round. But the fact that we did that and we won 5-0 as well at home, like, we deserve more home games. And now that we're playing against LAFC, and we can talk a little bit more about LAFC on Tuesday. I think no matter what happens, we can consider this a success because now we've seen our players hit their stride. Everything is going the way the Quakes fans want this team to go. Um, and we're happy and satisfied with the performances from each player, the team, the organization. It's just kind of unfortunate that there's a lot of protests going around. Not the fact that it's unfortunate for the protests happening, it's just unfortunate that our form is hitting not even hitting a ceiling because the ceiling is so much higher. I feel like for us now, but like it's hitting at a point where there's a lot of fans that just don't wish we can hit a form. We'd rather see it in league play than League's Cup. But hey, you know what? We'll take what we can get at this point.
Yeah.
If we win the tournament, if If we win, there's that extra CONCACAF Champions League spot for us. So, there's that one piece to look forward to if we were to reach that stage of hope.
If we make it to the final, I'm gonna say it here, so you guys can keep me accountable. If we make it to the final, I'm gonna paint a piece of my hair blue. Like last year, I did a spray paint, like just hair paint. I'm gonna actually dye it blue, like not all of it, but just like a piece. I'll look like Sonic the Hedgehog
Like Quakes.
for you guys. Yeah, if we get to the final, I'm doing that for sure.
Nice. I don't know what I'd do yet. I'd probably give the whole server Discord Nitro or something. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I'm not doing that. All right.
Quoted.
No, we already had that scare. I said in chat if Jeremy Bosi gets a hat trick, then I would owe everyone who upvotes that comment Discord Nitro, and 10 people upvoted that. So I was really thankful that Jibo didn't get a hat trick as much as I wanted him to.
He got subbed
I
off.
didn't specify the terms and conditions of the deal, so I would have been screwed there.
Yeah, you notice that I only make deals about like I have to do this to myself. I don't promise to spend any money. I learned that the hard way.
Very community based, so this is fun. These deals are fun because it engages other people.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever do a deal where like the Quakes win the MLS Cup. I wouldn't even shave. I wouldn't shave my beard even for that. Like I'm keeping the beard.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the beard's more important than the earthquake. I am a human being that has to exist on this planet. Beyond being a Quakes fan. So I don't think anyone wants to see the beard go. So
dang, what would you look like without that beard? I don't even know.
I haven't been. Sorry, no more soccer. Sorry, if you're here for soccer, you can go away. So last time I didn't have a beard was in high school. I was a senior and I shaved it, and that's the last time I shaved it because I met my girlfriend when I was 19, and I decided, okay, I'm not going to shave it, forever. She hasn't seen me in person without my beard. She's seen pictures, but I was a different shaped human back then. So
you ever see those? You ever see those videos where the dads shave off their beards and they walk up to their babies, and the babies are just like giving them like the "Who are you?" type stare, and then they start crying and screaming because they don't know who the man is that's approaching them. It's like that.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, it was not going to be good. Like, beard is better than no beard, in my opinion. No offense to you and your clean shaven face. But I think everyone should have a beard, even women and children should all have beards. But yeah, I think that's all we have to talk about. No. Let's talk about LAFC first. What are your predictions?
No predictions. No predictions. Not doing that.
Okay, let's do analysis. Analysis is a better word. I don't think that we've historically only been bad against LAFC. I think we've had some good results. Maybe not like wins in their tournament, in their stadium, sorry. But I think we've gotten pretty close. And I think that we've done that with worse teams on the field. And I think that Galaxy has our number in a way that LAFC doesn't. I think the last time we played Galaxy, we lost like 5-1 something. So not a good time, but I think that despite having the same players as that game, we have a different kind of ideology and philosophy and just boost. We have a huge boost of energy coming into it. I'm not super confident. LAFC is a very strong team, but I've seen the Earthquakes dismantle LAFC before, so I'm not super doom and gloom about it. I think that we have a chance, not a super big chance, but I think that LAFC is a team that probably considers us one of, maybe this is a little bit strong, but like we're kind of a bogey team to LAFC because they struggled against us in the past for sure.
I think most of our games we've played against them, at least home, we don't play against them at PayPal Park anymore. We have to go to Levi Stadium, and we've got that Levi's aura. As much as the supporters groups hate it, and most of the fans hate the parking prices and whatnot, we beat every team that we play in Levi's. Like we don't lose, but that said, I feel like just LAFC in general, we have the better, the better games against them, despite the fact that we lost to them like 5-1 and had a complete like deterioration that ultimately I think led to Lucci's firing, if I remember that correctly.
It's something like that. We've beat them this season, but yeah, at some point I remember. I don't know which came first. We lost to them 5-something, and
Yeah,
then but we also beat them. I don't know if we
because I think
played
it
them
was
later. Yeah.
because Ian's first game as a head coach was against Galaxy, and the game before that I believe was LAFC, and then that's when
Okay.
we got our shite rocked. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, that was LAFC was the reason I think that Lucci got fired. So now that we have a new system, they're gonna have to rescout. So I think this could be a very close game. It is away. We're not great away, so I don't know. I don't know. I feel like if anyone's gonna do damage, it's gonna be our midfield. But they do have Olivier Giroud. I'm not sure if he's available for the game. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. Um, I will be having I will be on a podcast with LAFC fans on Monday, and we'll be discussing with them, and we will also be posting that video in the Discord group. So if you're not in the Discord, go to the Discord, get caught up with all of our uh, all of our news and information. It's a fun group, fun community. We all love each other and yet hate each other at the same time and make fun of each other. We're a nice family. But what are your? You don't have the curse, so what are your predictions, Abram?
My predictions. In my head when you said that, I 3-1 flashed in front of my face. I don't know what that means. It's just the universe says 3-1. I don't know which way. I think it could go either way though. I think that if we get a lead and start pushing early on, we could easily win the game 3-1 just like we did at Levi's. But I could totally see us just shipping 3 goals right away. We will have Daniel back. We will have Nico. We'll have a full strength team basically. I think we need a capo to really consider a full strength team. But despite the criticisms we've had of Benji, I think that he's been a really good right back. And Paul Murray probably isn't the best player to have at right back right now. He's in a kind of a bad spell defensively, but he did score against Necaxa, so maybe as a sub we'll see him come on again for Espinosa. He's been pretty okay at a winger position in my opinion, but yeah, 3-1 either way. I don't know if that's a good prediction. It doesn't really provide that much analysis, but with how the Earthquakes is right now, it can really go either way. Like I said, we're very good, but we're also very bad.
Also,
Um,
fun thought: if the Quakes beat LAFC, we are into the round of 16. Or no, sorry, this is the round of 16. We're into the quarterfinals.
okay,
Quarterfinals. But when was the
yeah,
last time we ever got into the quarterfinals of anything? So that is
I don't know.
something to look forward to and watch the game specifically be because of that. It is a knockout round game, and there's a lot to ride, a lot on the line to ride.
Yeah, and if you have time on Tuesday, go there. Like, if you have like, I mean, who has time on Tuesdays? I don't. I'm not going.
I
But
got work. I got work.
if you do, yeah, just why not make the trip? The away section during LA Galaxy game, LAFC games is bumping, and then I know that the sport groups will probably be out there in full force due to the magnitude of this game. And if those reasons aren't enough, then consider the fact that this is the last game. It could be the last game that matters this season. You might have to wait for 2025 for anything to matter again. So, yeah, if you have the time to make it out to the stadium, I know the players and the team will very much appreciate that. I won't be doing it. I have work. I took off this week. I should have taken off the week after so that I could, go to the game. Um, but it is what it is. I hope to see or hear you guys on the TV broadcast while I watch it from the comfort of my own home here on my TV. Um, Devin, any closing thoughts?
No closing thoughts. Um, I want to hear Quakes fans comments down below. You know what their prediction is and what they'd like to see uh, as the next manager for the Earthquakes. Right now, Ian's only temporary. Do you want to see Ian as the main head coach for next season officially, or would you like to see us move on from the staff entirely? Let us know down below.
Yeah, definitely leave a comment about that. We will probably go over this later, especially once we open up the discussion to the Discord and see what they think. It's a little bit early to be making the decisions, so yeah, we'll discuss it at a later date. But for now, we're gonna leave you guys there. Hopefully, we get this out before Tuesday, so you can listen to it before the game. Um, but yeah, we'll see you guys next time, and go Quakes.
Go Quakes.